Hello there! This is MusicMan0150, also known as Gary, and I'm back again with another video. And this is actually a video of the Juno-G keyboard when I was actually working on it to fix the display. And I realized after all this time that I did not complete that video series. So here is the results of the Juno-G keyboard after changing the display. And as you can see, the display is working perfectly. In fact, if you recall, it was last summer that I actually changed the display, and actually have been using this now for about 6 months. And as you can see, the display is still working as it should. The text is clear. The display isn't showing any kind of erratic characters or anything like that. So those of you that have a Juno-G keyboard and having display problems, if you can do it yourself, all you have to do is just order the part from Roland, and it's usually about, I think I paid a little over $100 for it, but the labor cost is what's going to really be expensive. So if you know how to change the display yourself from watching the video that I presented before, I think you're going to be able to repair your own Juno-G keyboards and be able to reuse them again and again and again. Believe it or not, this is the third display that's been put into this keyboard, because I had this keyboard for about 4 years, and the original display hardly lasted maybe a year, and then I had it changed once by a professional, and that display lasted maybe about 2 years or more, maybe 3 year tops, and then it went. And so I thought, you know what, instead of taking the keyboard into service and not having it for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I thought I would just go ahead, order the part, and do some research as to how to change the display yourself. So I did this one myself, and it's working fantastic. You can see how clear it is, and even when I do this, change the patches or the selections, it's very stable. There's no distortion in it at all. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you on this as well is that I've updated the firmware on this Juno so that you can actually do what is known as sampling. And the way you access the sample feature is you hold down the shift key right here, and when I do that, you can see it says sampler, and then you push this button here that's right underneath the word sampler. I'm trying to do this with one hand. You do that, and there is the sample feature where you can do some sampling. You can capture sounds and have the Juno-G play that specific sound as another instrument or as a waveform, depending on what kind of sound you capture. So by upgrading the firmware on the Juno-G, it now actually works like the Phantom XA or the Phantom keyboard series in general. The Phantom XA keyboard is very similar to this one, with the exception of the fact that it already has the built-in sampling feature. whereas the Juno-G did not until the firmware was upgraded. However, the Juno-G, you can see over here, there's 5 slide controls, and that's for recording full audio tracks. So in other words, you can record your voice, or you can plug in a real electric guitar or a real acoustic guitar and record it into the Juno-G, and then using the sequencer you can have a combination of MIDI and audio tracks, which really makes this a very, very powerful recording studio. So thought I would catch up on this particular project or video series, because I realized that the conclusion of repairing the Juno-G was not on my channel. So I thank you all so much for reminding me about that. So yes, the display was the culprit, and after changing it, it works perfectly. So that's now officially the end of the Juno-G repair video series, and if you have any more questions on it, please don't hesitate to comment or ask more questions, and I will certainly, to my best knowledge, answer it with what I know from experience. So thank you so much for watching, and we will have more great videos to come.